NASA announced Thursday that it has awarded 3 contracts to begin initial development of lunar landing systems that will take astronauts down to the surface of the moon in less than 5 years. $579 million to Blue Origin, which will lead the national team and serve as the prime contractor, building the Blue Moon Lunar Lander. They will work along with Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. $253 million to Dynetics lead team and $135 million to SpaceX. The company bid its Super Heavy rocket and Starship to carry humans to the moon. However, NASA has not actually selected a final architecture for the first human landing mission. Quote, "We're keeping that part open right now as we see how these designs mature and evolve as we start to work with these contracts." The second story of the week measured ice sheet loss. A study found that Greenland's ice sheet lost an average of 200 gigatons of ice per year, and Antarctica's ice lost an average of 118 gigatons of ice per year. These findings come from NASA's Ice, Cloud, and Land Elevation Satellite 2. 1 gigaton of ice is enough to fill 400,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools, or cover New York's Central Park in ice with more than 1,000 feet or 300 meters thick, reaching higher than the Chrysler Building. The results provide insights into how polar sheets are changing, demonstrating that small gains in the East Antarctic are dwarfed by massive losses in the West Antarctic. The scientists found that the net loss of ice from Antarctica, along with Greenland's shrinking ice sheet, has been responsible for 0.55 inches or 14 millimeters of ice level rise between 2003 and 2019, slightly less than a third of the total amount of sea level rise observed in the world's oceans. Ice that melts from the ice shelves don't rise sea levels since it's already floating, just like an ice cube already in a full cup of water doesn't overflow the ice when it melts. But the ice shelves do provide stability to glaciers and ice sheets behind them. Our third topic of the week is microplastics. Every year, millions of tons of plastic enter the ocean. If they're buoyant, they get swept by surface currents into massive garbage patches, like the famous one in the northern Pacific Ocean. Microplastics are readily identified by the eyes, and researchers write that their bright colors make them easy to spot, but to be sure, they're followed up with a hot needle test, which is exactly what it sounds like. Plastics curl up when they're poked with a hot needle, while natural substances don't. Scientists found that 953 microplastic particles across the 16 sediment samples, with as many as 191 pieces in just 50 grams of sediment. This is the highest concentration measured so far in any deep sea setting. Distance from the shore have made no difference to the microplastic count, suggesting that it's not a simple matter of plastic drifting directly downward to the ocean's floor. Rather, they are being moved along with the same currents that transport sediment and landing along with sediment in mounds and drifts. Those currents also move oxygen as well as nutrients, so these biodiverse hotspots are likely to overlap with microplastic hotspots created by current deep in the ocean, adding to the concern that microplastics pollution might affect ocean ecosystems and the food web. Our first mini topic of the week takes us back to 2 weeks ago about the largest Arctic ozone hole. Just as suddenly as it first formed, a record-breaking ozone layer has now healed. The largest ozone hole to ever open up over the Arctic is now closed, and scientists do not expect the same condition to occur next year. Now that the intense polar vortex has ended, the ozone layer has closed. Despite coronavirus lockdowns leading to a significant reduction in air pollution, researchers said that the pandemic likely was no reason for the ozone hole closing. Our second mini topic is related to a comet. The comet has fragmented into more than a dozen pieces that was discovered on December 29th, 2019 by Atlas Robotic Survey Systems. However, in mid-March, the comet started to abruptly dim. As Atlas later confirmed, the icy core started to break apart and disintegrate 91 million miles from Earth. Hubble was able to capture this comet's demise. On April 20th, Hubble observed 30 fragments from the comet, and just a few days later, On April 23rd, it spotted only 25 pieces.